must have heard of the common saying, practice makes perfect. In fact, there are many people who give practice as the solution for everything. If you tell them, I'm not able to sing in proper pitch, they will say, practice more. If you tell them, my voice is paining, they will say, practice more. If you say, I'm not able to get the gamakas of this song, practice more. So the word practice has been used very loosely, as if it's some sort of magic solution for everything. But no, practice is not a magic weapon. Practice has certain terms and conditions. Only if those terms and conditions are met will the practice even work. Otherwise, you are actually better off not practicing, because the practice you are doing can equally cause harm to you as well. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. What are the things that actually make practice work? And what are the things that make it not work? And what are the things that cause you further damage and further harm? And in this episode, I will also share a lot about my personal journey, my practice, what has helped me, what has worked for me, and so on. So let's jump right into this episode. I'm Pratibha Sarathy and you're watching VoxGuru's YouTube series. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe to the channel right away and give me that daily dose of motivation. Now, the first question you need to ask before you start practicing is, how is the quality of your learning? Ultimately, what we learn is what we practice, right? So if our learning is really good, if it is at a very high standard, then whatever we are practicing is perfect. At least we have learned it right and we know what we need to do, we know what we have to work on. But suppose our learning itself is not right. Let's say we have been taught something wrongly. Imagine if somebody teaches you 1 plus 1 is equal to 3 and you believe that for say 10 years of your life, and based on that you have learned many other things. How would you feel after 10 years when someone tells you, hey, actually 1 plus 1 is 2? The same thing happens in music very, very often. I meet students day in and day out who have learnt their basic exercises in the completely wrong way. The pitch of their notes is not right, the tala control is not there. So either they have been taught wrongly or they have been taught correctly, but their mistakes have not been corrected. Right? So teaching is not a very easy task. It is not just singing and repeating. Teaching involves a lot of active correction. So unless the teacher is at that level and correcting you very, very actively, you will keep making mistakes during your practice also. So this is the first thing you have to ensure before you practice. You have to ensure that whoever you are learning from is an absolute expert in the subject. It is not enough if they are just good or very good. They have to be an expert. They have to be excellent. Okay, so they have to be really strong with the subject and they should be making the effort of closely correcting your mistakes. Some people are very, very strong in the subject, but they are lazy teachers, right? They don't take that effort to correct each and every mistake. So you need to find a teacher who is able to do both. And only if that is in place, your practice will be in the right direction. Otherwise, trust me, you're better off not practicing. Practicing the wrong thing is the biggest damage you can do to yourself, because a couple of years later, let's say you meet a good teacher and they tell you that whatever you have been practicing is wrong. After that, you will have to unlearn all the wrong things and then learn the right thing afresh. And let me tell you, there is nothing more torturous than unlearning. When you've already learned something, put so much hard work, somebody tells you it is totally wrong. Forgetting that is more difficult. Learning something new is easier. But forgetting something wrong and then learning the right thing, it is a lot of effort and it is a lot of unnecessary effort. So that is why I say, right from day one, right from your basic level, learn from the best. Don't have this attitude that, okay, my basics I will just learn from anybody who is nearby and after a certain level I will go to a professional teacher. Don't have that approach at all, because most of the damage actually happens in the basic level. Now let's say you have done this, you have understood all your teachers' feedback and you are working on it sincerely. Now during the class your teacher is there with you, but what happens when you come back home? What happens when you sit in your practice room all alone? Who is your teacher at that time? Who is going to guide you on whether you got it right or not? Who is going to guide you whether you are making any new mistakes or not? Your biggest guide in your practice room is your ear. That is why I say 100 times to all my students, focus on ear training. That is the biggest gift you can give yourself as a musician. Because at the end of the day, you have to be independent, right? The teacher will guide you up to a certain stage. But after that, majority of the work is going to happen in your practice room. So unless your ear is sharp enough to actually listen to what you're singing and tell you whether it is correct or not, your practice is not effective. You may be practicing for 1 hour and 2 hours without even knowing whether you're singing right or not. That is very dangerous, right? So that is why I make sure that at VoxGuru, ear training is a very, very integral part of every stage of your learning. Because ear training is not some separate skill that you can develop within 3 or 4 months, right? Training your ear is like developing more maturity. How long does it take for a person to become more mature? You can't say, right? Maturity develops over time with experience. So that is what happens with the ear also. You have to put the ear through the right experiences so that it starts recognizing notes, it starts understanding nuances. So only when the ear becomes really sharp, you will be able to help yourself. Now let's say you have a really good ear for music. Now you have to put it to use. You have to become your own critic. So when you're sitting for practice, you should not just be enjoying your own singing. I know many people who love to hear themselves sing. They love it so much that they are not ready to acknowledge any of their mistakes. They don't even want to find out what their mistakes are. But that kind of practice is not very meaningful, right? Because once you sit for practice, by the end of that session, you have to show some improvement, right? Practice is not just about clocking 1 hour and just singing for 1 hour, right? That singing has to yield some tangible results. So you should be looking out for your mistakes. That is what practice is for. Once you are performing in front of somebody, then your only goal is to give your best. So there you are not going to stop and correct yourself and all of that. So performance is a different thing. But practice is primarily meant for you to improve, for you to correct yourself. So for that you have to keenly listen and try your best to identify all your mistakes. Be real with yourself. Don't go into the enjoyment mode during practice. There is a time for enjoyment and there is a time for facing the reality and improving yourself. And the last point I'm going to leave you with today is your vocal technique. Now, vocal technique is one more thing that affects your practice in a very big way. If your vocal technique is good, then you can sustain many hours of practice. So I practice for 2 hours every day, and after that I come to the VoxGuru office and I do a lot of these videos and courses and whatnot, right? So I use my voice very actively for at least 6 hours every day. Now, because I'm very conscious of my technique, I'm able to manage this. But if your vocal technique is not right, then your practice is actually causing you more damage. Because when you're practicing, you're going to sing the same thing again and again, right? If you sing it again and again with the wrong technique, imagine how much damage you're causing to your own voice. So this is another scenario where I say it is better not to practice than to practice with poor technique. So to make your practice effective, make sure you are getting the right help to improve your vocal technique. Sing with a healthy vocal technique. But let me assure you of one thing. Building a good vocal technique is not rocket science. It does not take 5 to 10 years to achieve it. If you put a focused effort, within 1 or 2 years, you can see a significant transformation in your singing. I have personally experienced this. That's why I'm saying it so confidently. So do yourself a big favor. If you find that you are struggling during your practice, you're facing strain or you're finding difficulty in actually singing, then please undergo proper voice training at least for 6 months to 1 year. Fix certain techniques. Learn the right technique to sing lower notes, higher notes, how to transition between your scale, how to feel the resonance, how to make your voice more flexible, how to breathe correctly when you sing. All of these are fundamental aspects and you need to first develop it through systematic training. Only then you will be able to start applying it in your practice session. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what is your experience with practice and which of these aspects do you feel you need to improve. And if you're looking for a great place to kickstart your musical journey or to resume from where you have left earlier, please join VoxGuru's live Carnatic curriculum. We have a beautiful curriculum which is both fun and very, very effective at the same time. So we have put a lot of effort into this curriculum to ensure that you are learning the right things at the right time. So it's going to be a very holistic approach where each grade has a combination of different skills to offer you. And we also have a voice culture program. So if you are somebody who is good with your basics but you are not able to execute it properly, you're not able to reach the notes with the right technique, you're not able to sing effortlessly, you're facing some strain or some issues with your singing, then you are most welcome to join the voice culture program. So whichever may be your interest, just drop us a WhatsApp message. I have shared the link in the description. So just say hello and we will get back to you with all the details of our programs. And if you are looking for self-learning courses in music, then please download the VoxGuru app. So we have plenty of self-learning courses on the VoxGuru app. I have been uploading those courses for many years now. So we are introducing a lot of new courses also this year. So please explore the app and grab your favorite courses. I'll be eagerly waiting for that WhatsApp message from you. Take care and see you soon.